I am so excited today to be joined by Ed Friedman, Director of Marketing and Advisor Engagement at Summit Financial Partners. Ed, thanks so much for being here for this conversation.
David, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Ed, you are what I would consider a real growth leader in this industry. You've seen it evolve over the years. As you look at the landscape today in wealth management, what are one or two of the largest challenges facing wealth firms?
I think from a challenge perspective, right? If I look at the next 3 to 5 years, um, we are going to see a massive separation, if you will, between firms from a competitive landscape with respect to those that have truly adopted and have created a roadmap for technology versus those that have not. And part of that separation, I think, is going to be a function of those firms that have the capital resources and experience to create that roadmap versus those that don't. And those that do adopt it, those that do create a very thoughtful and deliberate roadmap, are going to find themselves in a greater position to create scale and to capture this huge wealth transfer that we keep hearing about.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, it's great to hear that Summit is on the front lines on this. Despite all the technology changes, one thing I keep hearing about, and I feel it as a client, trust is still at the center of wealth management. My relationship with my advisor continues to be personal. It needs to be human first. Why is that never going away?
Well,
Or what do you think about that?
well, look, I think it's spot on, right? If we go back 10 years ago, we thought that robo was going to replace the advisor. Everybody has woken up to the fact that it is the advisor. It is the relationship that they have with the client that is paramount. I get the questions all the time about, is AI kind of the new robo, and will it be a fad and will it go away? And the answer is no. The AI and a lot of the applications like Socialive that utilize AI as a communication tool with the clients is only going to serve to enhance the relationship rather than replace the relationship. So we've learned that when it's all said and done, the human touch is worth everything.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And it's wonderful that Summit is leaning forward when it comes to video. Um, Speak a little bit about how video or why video is an essential medium to connect that personalization and engage with clients.
I think what we're finding today is the way that advisors are either finding or connecting with clients is very, very different than it was even 5 years ago. Um, I've done a lot of work with some industry marketing firms that have said that the growth of advisors' books are going to be as much digitally based than it used to be in the old days of referrals and kind of who you know. And I think the statistics bear that out. 45% of clients go online for advice. They go online digitally to try to find advisors. And what's really interesting is that only about 24% of advisors today have a social media presence. So when I'm an advisor or I'm coaching advisors today, I'm talking an awful lot about video. I'm talking about, and we're so excited to fully launch Socialive in our system, because the ability to create a short form video, either as an outreach to a prospect or as a communication tool to an existing client, will create such scale in somebody's business like we've never seen before. So the integration of it, especially as we face this huge wealth transfer, I think is going to be key to our outgoing marketing, not only at a corporate level, but at an advisor level.
I love it. And we know video works, right? The data's there. It drives trust, it drives visibility, it drives reach, it even drives conversion from a pipeline perspective. What historically have you seen getting in the way of video adoption?
I think it's more education than anything else. I think the complexity around it in the past, and I think Socialive has done a great job in simplifying the complexity of creating online content. I also think some of it is compliance related. You know, compliance departments are a little scared of the ability for advisors to create video content because they have to review it, they have to approve it, they have to have the process in place. We as a firm just recently signed on with a compliance platform that uses AI, uses LLM and agentic AI to review videos, to pick up those things that might otherwise need to be adjusted in order for the video to be compliant. But I think, if you talk about the resistance, it's up until this point, lack of easily to use platforms to create video content, education about the impact around it, and third being kind of the compliance oversight.
It's really interesting. When I think about advisor video, I think when most people think of advisor video, they naturally go to client-facing content. Hey, how do I build more new pipeline? How do I engage existing clients? But you talk about it using it as an advisor recruitment solution. Any other insights you can provide on how video might move the needle to driving advisor recruitment?
Yeah, I think, interesting enough, I think the video and the technology itself is a recruitment tool because what it says to advisors is that we are forward thinking as a firm. And by the adoption of that and the ability for our business development officers to record a 2-minute video that they send out to a prospect or to walk through a presentation of some of the key drivers, if you will, of Summit is going to be a very, very powerful tool. But I think more than anything else, and we hear this from advisors that are thinking about joining Summit, more so, I would say, than we've heard in the past 2 years, which is, tell me about your view of technology. Tell me about your adoption of technology. So in our recruitment, to even say that we have a platform like Socialive to create video content that they can use in their prospecting or in connection or staying connected to their existing clients says a lot about the firm that they're thinking about joining.
Great insights, Ed. And I just have one or two more questions. One question for you is, how are you seeing the adoption of AI and some of the most exciting use cases, practical and valuable use cases today?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a little bit of a crawl, walk, run approach. And advisors and firms, quite frankly, run the risk, if you will, of what I refer to as shiny object syndrome.
Right.
Which is, I talked about almost every week a new M&A competitor popping up. Probably a couple of times a week, there's always a new AI platform that is popping up. And each one says it is the best out there. And advisors run to it, right? They notoriously run toward the shiny object. What I see the most successful firms doing is taking a very strategic approach to it. So when I looked at it from our firm and what we're going through right now, the step to effectively utilizing AI, whether it's at a firm level or an advisor level, it starts with the data, right? You have to have clean data, you have to have great data, you have to create, in the old days, we used to call it a data warehouse. Now they call it a data lake. Our CTO calls it a data lake house because he wants to feel like he's on vacation. But when you do that, and you take that as a very deliberate first step, then using agentic AI on top of it will be the differentiator, right? And it's going to be the ability to look at your world as it exists with respect to the data, and from a firm level to be able to pull out information that helps us make better and faster decisions going forward, and for an advisor to use it to more closely connect with clients, stay on top of everything with clients, and quite frankly, to scale their business in such a way that they've not been able to before. We talk about this huge wealth transfer that's happening over the next decade. Well, that overlays what is a concern for the industry, which is a huge advisor shortage McKinsey did a great report on the looming advisor shortage. AI is going to be able to create scale and efficiency in advisors' businesses in such a way that they will be able to take on more clients without any degradation of service. And I think that's going to be a big differentiator. Like a lot of firms, we use AI in our note takers. We use AI in some of our organic lead gen platforms. We use AI in the wealth management, in the financial planning space. So those are kind of the one-off use cases. But on a broader roadmap, I think that's where we're going, and I think that's where the smart firm should be going.
Well, this is great insight, Ed. Any final words or notes you want to share about our emerging partnership, or more broadly about video in the wealth management space?
Yeah, a great closing question, David. I think for me, what's going to be really interesting is the ability to very clearly tie ROI to things like video content creation.
Yeah.
Marketing at times is somewhat of this amorphous phrase that advisors might spend money on marketing, but might not be able to discern a true ROI from it.
Yeah.
Right. And one of the things that we're working on with our advisors with a third party marketing firm is creating intentional and deliberate strategic marketing plans. But when I think about video in that context rather, I think we will be very clearly able to create an ROI analysis, if you will, on the use of video. Advisors sending video out to prospects and the close rate on prospecting going up. From a firm perspective, the ability to connect with advisors that are thinking about joining Summit and to do that through the utilization of video, and then tracking our close rate in particular with those that we have utilized video versus those that we might not have used it with, allows us to really kind of lean in, if you will, on video content, because we will have the analytics and the statistics to prove its value.
I love the ROI approach. I think for one, we'll see great cost savings, time savings, scale unlocked through a platform like Socialive. But it gets really interesting to see how this plays through in terms of not only lead generation, but also conversion. I think where it gets really interesting in the future when we think about AI is the idea that data can start be predictive of what video types of video tends to perform. So if an advisor does a certain type of video that really works on LinkedIn, how we can then replicate that while still making it personalized at scale gets really, really interesting. So I think we're just in the first inning, maybe even the warm-ups of what is going to be a very exciting ball game ahead. So Ed Friedman, thank you so much for taking this time speaking with us. You are amazingly knowledgeable and a real thought leader in the industry. We are very grateful that we get the opportunity to partner with Summit Financial as we deploy Socialive with your marketing team and with advisors. So really grateful for this opportunity to speak with you today and the partnership. Thank you, Ed.
Well, David, thank you for your kind words. I look forward to the partnership, and I look forward to great things together in the future.
All right. Ed Friedman, Director of Marketing and Advisor Engagement at Summit Financial. Thank you for listening.